Alright, so today we're cleaning up the boat, polishing the hull to get it ready for launch next Friday. So first thing we did was took on and off, brushed it against the hull, gets any of the tannins, the yellow, any of the spots off, gets all the crap off so that you can start your compound and polish. We're using the Meguiar's 501 and 105 and 105 and 205 to get this done. The first one is the compound, and that gets rid of a lot of the oxidation that we've got. Use a wool pad on my dual action orbiter, and then use the polish 205 to go over top of that, and it's coming out pretty nice. Now last we'll use the Starbright PTEF as our finish sealant. A little bit better than wax. It'll last hopefully 8 to 10 months. So let's get this wrapped up.
Let's look at the boat. So far, so good, I think. What do you have left? This little bit up here to do?
A little bit here. Actually, this is a lake white pad. At least it used to be white. What I do? And all I'm going to do is take some of this polish, put it on. I started at a 3 setting, maybe 2 even. That's just to help spread the polish around. Get it started by hand, spread out a little bit. Only do about a 2 foot by 2 foot section at a time, or else it dries on you. I'll show you a trick for that. So then I'm just going to spread it out on a low speed. Alright, now that it's spread, I'm going to put it up to a 5 setting. Slowly polish it. Go side to side first, applying a decent amount of pressure, and then up and down, helps making sure I get everything on the boat here, full coverage. So now, I see that the polish is starting to dry a little bit. I've done my 2 hard passes. Now I'm just gonna wet it down a little bit.
With just plain water?
Just plain water. And you can't do this with all types of polishes. With Meguiar's actually has a compound. This one has a compound that doesn't break down. A lot of your polishes will break down as you use it. This one won't, so you can re-wet it. Now that it's wet down, I'm just going to go over the 2 light passes, help take care of any swirl marks that are on there.
What number do you have it on?
Still on 5. That's it. Now I just got to wipe off all the residue with a rag and move on to the next spot. Alright, so last step here is the Starbright Premium Polish with PTEF. It's basically a polymer sealer as opposed to using a wax. It should last 8 to 10 months as opposed to a wax that'll last 3. First time using it, and I can tell you so far, I love it. So it is a little watery. Careful putting it on. And the only complaint I have about it is when you put it on the black, you can see it. But on the white, it's very difficult to see where you did. So you kind of got to look at an angle like this, but it goes on nice and easy and it comes off real easy. It's not like wax when you let it.
I can see where we did the other ones.
Yeah,
Only when you look at it like this though, because if you go straight on, you can't tell at all.
If you let it stay on there and it dries, it's not real hard to get off like wax. So far I'm loving it.
We did do the other part all the way on the left so far. And so far it looks pretty darn good, I'd say.
I think it came out nice. I'm not going to be able to walk tomorrow. I'll be so sore, but it did come out nice.
You have the whole other side to do.
Oh, great. So Teresa, what are you doing down there?
Scrubbing.
Why are you scrubbing?
Because we painted this when we weren't supposed to paint it.
What did we paint?
Rudder
And the struts?
struts.
And what's the problem with us painting them?
It oxidizes them.
What are they made out of?
Not sure.
Steel. They're made out of steel. And what was the paint we used made out of or have in it?
Well, we thought it was bottom paint.
Well, it is
We
bottom
thought it
paint.
was okay to put it on it.
It had
But
copper
at
in
the end
it.
of the day, it was the hard bottom paint.
Either way, it doesn't matter. It had copper in it. Most bottom paints have copper in it.
There might be some that
There are
don't,
some
though.
specialty ones,
Yeah.
but we were in a rush and didn't think, and now we have to take it all off. But we
And
did a
it's
pretty good
taken,
job.
like, I don't know, a lot of trips. This thing's beat to heck.
What is
And
it?
I had to wire brush. I have to keep going to the hose, rinsing it, and coming back, and reapplying the stripper. And there's the stripper we used. That's the one that actually worked really well.
Let's go see. So this was what? Citrus Strip. It actually worked really well, and it doesn't have all the chemicals in it that a lot of other strippers have. But we put this on, left it overnight, got most of it off, and then we put it on again, waited about an hour, and then a lot of the rest of it's coming off. So, third time?
For this side.
So, okay. So Teresa's down there working hard. We got this side of the boat done. Came out beautiful. I mean, really came out nice. So that was compound, polish, and then Starbright PTF sealant. So it's also, the Starbright's called a polish, but it's really more of a polymer sealant. So it worked out well. Alright, one more job to do is replace anodes. The large stern anodes, the one on the right doesn't look too bad. I think I'm going to leave this one alone. And I'm going to replace the one on the left. So we got a replacement from West Marine. West Marine's new price match policy is nice. It was $65, and then we price matched it to boatzinks.com for $30. So about half off. And the one nice thing about this boat is almost every bolt that you come across is the same size. That's 9/16. It makes it really nice. I've had the same socket on this ratchet for the whole spring, it would seem. So, all right, so I'm gonna get this guy off, and then we'll move on to the trim tab zincs after that. So here's the new zinc versus the old zinc. Now the old zinc still had plenty of life left in it, but it is pitted, and we figured while we have it out of the water, let's get her replaced. So we'll get at least one new one on. I did clean off, used a wire brush to clean off the washers and the bolts, and this guy should just slide right on. There we go. I just need to clean up the washers for the other side, and then get them on there, and we'll be good. Okay, so here is the new trim tab anode. It's got a built-in nut, which is kind of nice. This guy's gonna go right here. This guy's gonna go underneath. And just a matter of screwing it in. I used a wire brush to clean the surface off before I put these guys on. Alright, let me grab Allen key. Alright, they're nice and tight. Now what I'm going to do, let's see if this works. This is the old Allen key and nut from the last one. And much like the anode being, the stern anode being double nutted, I'm going to see if I can double nut this. Why not? Otherwise the nut's just going to go in the garbage. It does fit. Alright, Teresa, go ahead and get a close-up of that, and you'll see it is double nutted. Alright, good to go. Gotta do the other side, and I'm all set. Alright, the stern anodes are all set. I've got both trim tab anodes on. See them down there? What you doing now, Teresa?
I was just sanding some of the shaft that got paint on it, and some were the tool he was using to get the, what do you call that?
Cutlass bearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for
There's
you...
some marks on it, so I was just going over it.
For you folks watching at home, you'll notice that both of my cutlass bearings are missing. So, when we got the boat out, it's strange. When we did the survey, if you've watched the survey video, on there the mechanics said, the surveyor said no problem with the cutlass bearings, but it was pretty obvious as soon as we got them out of the water that they needed to be replaced. So, now when they are out of the water for a little while, they do tend to dry out and show a little bit more of the imperfections and lose some of that swelling that they had. So can't really blame the surveyor, but had to get them done, and decided to use my strongest tool to get those out. If anybody knows what the strongest tool in my toolbox is, it is my credit card. Yeah, I paid a mechanic. I wasn't gonna tackle that one. So he supposed to come back on Monday and put them back in now. The new one's back in.
And the props.
And the props back on. The props have been refinished. Here's what's left of the old cutlass bearings. And I was happy I wasn't here to see how he got them out, because it looked like it was a pipe and a big FH. BFH. Big effing hammer. So I was kind of happy not to see that. So, but yeah, Monday they should be back on, and the props should be back on, and then we launch Friday. One more thing to show you. New transducer. This is the Fishhawk transducer that I installed. Not the prettiest job, but it should get her done. So this will go up to my Fishhawk display and then transmit down to the probe on my downrigger so that I know what speed and temperature and depth my cannonballs are running at. So a new toy this year to play with. Had a depth rater beforehand. Loved the depth rater, except it constantly lost signal below like 50 feet. And it also used a coated cable, and I liked using the Scotty downriggers, and the coated cable was a bit of a pain, so I won't miss the coated cable one bit. So on to newer and better and, as usual, more expensive things. The mechanic was able to get the gimbal bearings replaced and the props back on, and now Top Secret was ready for spring launch.